Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace, Singer, and Islandnet Services.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people them I say we are my show tonight. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't put it down. Shine your lights
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
Northeast St. Anne is a seat the PNP haven't held in over a generation, not since the former man at the helm of Commanders Track Limited, Danny Melville, won the seat for them. Has a PNP candidate tasted success in Northeast St. Anne? It does appear to be JLP territory, but the PNP would dearly love to bring Northeast St. Anne with them as they move to occupy Jamaica House after the September 3 general election. The man they've sent forward and tasked with the important job of winning the seat, Dr. Ryan Simpson, who's hoping to cause Matthew Samuda's tenure as a member of the House of Representatives to be a short one. On the other side, in the other half of the program, a man who's looking to create history for the JLP, the first Labourite to win a contested election in East Central St. Andrew, could be Davian Vassel, but he has an awesome task ahead of him to upend the PNP's Dennis Gordon. It's Lead Story Prime on a Tuesday, where we have more time and our guests are able to talk more about themselves. It's an episode I know you look forward to. It's an episode I love to present. Let's start the show. Yeah, so Northeast St. Anne, as I noted, well over a generation since the PNP won it. We all know the story of the JLP in Northeast St. Anne with the then Shaheen Fakuri. Well, she was always Robinson in her public political life, but she won that seat in a by-election, and the JLP have not looked back since. And even after she passed at 66 years, the JLP won the seat in 2020, and Matthew Samuda winning in a by-election. The by-election results are behind me, and look, 2001, people said this was the beginning of the rebirth of the JLP under an Eddie Seaga, who was, for all intents and purposes, toxic. The Jamaican people didn't want anything to do with the JLP under Seaga after a point. So when Shaheen Robinson, under Seaga's leadership, won Northeast St. and people felt that this was the long way back for the Labour Party, and that was what she did in 2001. In 2007, in her second general election, 2002 was the first, Oswestina Smith, attorney at law, fell short, 2,000 votes short of Shaheen Robinson's total in 2007. moved forward to 2011 when the JLP were wiped out by a missile named Portia Simpson Miller. Shaheen Robinson still held 1,128 votes ahead of Paul Stewart. And then 2016, when Holness got his own term, his first own term as Prime Minister, Robinson 3,000 votes clear of Desmond Gilmore. And then in 2020, a different rider for the JLP, because this was September 3, this would have been Marcia Smith, who would have won for the JLP in North East St. Anne in 2020 to keep the seat in the green column. The vote difference averaged 16%, and it's all green, so the JLP historically comfortable winners of the seat. The only queasy moment, if you can call it that, relatively, 2011, 6.3%. I mean, 6.3% of the vote share is still comfortable. Exchange, Ocherius, Limehall, St. Anne's Bay, those 4 divisions voting solidly green in the 2024 local government elections. So this tells many stories, especially one for the PNP where they have a gap to bridge to the JLP, 1,780 the difference across the 4 divisions. Matthew Samuda, the man who won that by-election, Dr. Ryan Simpson, did not contest, so his powder is very dry. He has kept his powder dry for the big one, the general election, and he was duly nominated on Monday to contest the seat. Now look at the tail of the tape in terms of the historic representation in the seat. The PNP turn of independence, 62, coming right down, but this 97 position is where it all changed. Mind you, the JLP did win the seat in 1980 for the first time. Bobby Marsh won for them. And of course, there was a walkover in 83 when the PNP boycotted because Michael Manley said he was not running on a flawed voters list. But 2002, 2007, 11, 16, and 20, all green. But the PNP say, yeah, well, the thing will change this time around. A graphical representation of the 4 divisions. Exchange, I have some family there in the place called Hand to Mouth. Really like it. It's a place, Hand to Mouth Exchange. I saw the first Pro Box, and when I saw these motor vehicles, I say, what an odd-shaped car. But all of the taximen were driving Pro Boxes in Hand to Mouth in Exchange way back in the day. I venture to say that they were the first group of taxi operators in Jamaica to adopt the Pro Box as the car of choice. And of course, the rest is history. Everywhere there is a Pro Box or few. So this is the outlay of Northeast St. Anne, and this is what will be at stake. Well, these divisions, votes in them, will be what the combatants will battle for, legally, of course, in the election on September 3. So he has journeyed from far to be my guest this evening, and Dr. Ryan Simpson has made his way onto the set, and it's proper for me to say good evening, sir, and welcome.
Good evening, Georgia. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. For your potential constituents in Northeast St. Anne, they'd have, of course, they know everything about you. You're speaking to a national audience which includes them and the rest of Jamaica. Who is Ryan Simpson for those who don't know?
Well, thank you very much first for inviting me to be on this program today. So I'm a son of St. Anne, and that's where I want to start. I grew up in Southeast St. Anne on the border of northern Clarendon. It's a little farming community called Matney.
Matney?
Matney.
Never heard of that.
You would be in the majority.
Yeah.
So most people don't know of Matney, and yet Matney has made a significant contribution, especially in the agricultural sector in St. Anne. That's where you'll find a lot of the vegetable farmers, cabbage and lettuce, all those the vegetables that would supply the St. Anne's Bay,
Yes.
the market, Brownstown. That's where they
Matney's
come
a supplier.
from. Matney. It's on the border of Clarendon, so Kellits would be Douglas Castle.
Oh, up that side.
That is correct.
In Clarendon,
Puget
right.
River. So that's the Bensonton Division. So that's where I grew up. My father, I grew up with my grandparents there. So I'm a son of St. Anne. I have I've experienced. I didn't grow up with a gold spoon in my mouth. I have had the experience of carrying water on my head.
Yes.
With a cutter.
Yes, man.
Made from
We know
dry
a cutter,
banana
man.
leaf.
Yes, man.
Yeah. So I grew up on bad roads. I've experienced my fair share of bad roads. Walking to school.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Matney All-Age School. Well, I started at Kelly's Primary School. Then I went on to, actually, Coley Basic School first. That's also in Matney. Then went to Kelly's Primary School for a short time. Then most of my time in Matney All-Age School. Of course, I do share heritage with. So I was born in West Portland, by the way, in Port Antonio, but I grew up in a place called Fruitful Vale.
I know Fruitful Vale.
You know Fruitful
Yes.
Vale. Oh, awesome! And a lot of people don't know that's where the Governor General comes from. So he's
Sir Patrick.
Sir Patrick
Ooh,
Allen.
yeah.
So you
I
know.
always thought he was a Mandeville man. But
No. Well, so Mandeville, because it's the headquarters of the Seventh Adventist Church, and he was the leader of the Seventh Adventist Church before he came into. Became the Governor General.
So you were born in West Portland,
Then
lived in Southeast St. Anne,
Right.
and went to school in Clarendon, in Kellitz.
Well, I went to school at Kellitz, then back in Mackney, and then I moved on to high school in Portland. Port Antonio High School, Portland High School. Then I moved on to, it was then West Indies College, now Northern Caribbean University. So I'm a minister of religion by training in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I've had all my my tertiary training in the Seventh-day Adventist Church up to my doctoral studies. I currently live in St. Anne, and I vote in St. Anne, so I can vote for me.
You vote in your
I can vote for
constituency, in
myself.
the constituency.
Absolutely. PD 29, Oak Tree High School. So that's Ryan Simpson. I'm one of identical twins. My twin brother is a minister as well, but he lives in the United States. I have a family. My wife is a physician. I have three children. My son is actually going to be celebrating his 21st birthday.
You look young for a man who has a 21-year-old son.
Absolutely. Well, I heard that all the time,
Yes.
and I take it as a compliment.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have a son and two girls.
So that's Ryan Simpson.
That's Ryan Simpson.
All right, hold it right here. Let's take the break and come right back and get further into the story of Dr. Ryan Simpson, the man looking to end the JLP's long dominance in Northeast St. Anne. And he isn't anything if not confident. This is Lead Story Prime.
Back to school season, you've got math problems. Finding the answers could have you scratching your head for solutions. With a Sagicor Bank unsecured loan, you can borrow up to $5 million. No security needed. Fast approval, up to 5 years to repay, and flexible loan options. Problem solved. Dad, crown. Be crowned the back to school champion parent with a Sagicor Bank unsecured loan. Call 888-SAGICOR 724-4267 or visit sagicor.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi. Brought to you by Grace, Singer, and IslandNet Services.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
So back with us here on Lead Story Prime on this Tuesday evening. So that's the matchup. Matthew Samuda in the green corner, and in the orange corner punching is Dr. Ryan Simpson. We would have had Matthew in the second half of the program as we normally treat these constituency profiles, but the man in charge of water is not quite hors de combat, as the Latinos would say, meaning out of action through injury, but he has lost his voice, and there'll be another time for him to make his case. This evening, though, it's all about Dr. Ryan Simpson. So here we are now. So you've established your roots, your antecedents, growing up. You have established for my viewers, certainly for me, that you're a man who knows poverty, who knows to not have all that you want, and certainly you had rare, if anything, that you, well, not all you needed, and then the wants were, I mean, and additions that you never bothered yourself with. What does that experience of growing up put you in position to do for these constituents if you get the Northern election day?
Well, it does. I see that as my experience as preparatory for what representational politics would mean and should be for me.
Right.
You know, so I can identify with the issues, the real issues that our people are experiencing right now in Northeast St. Anne. There are a substantial amount of communities in my constituency that are having similar experience, where people are having similar experiences that I have had. Talk about Steertown, Limehall, Windsor Heights, Charlestown, Exchange that you spoke about, Priory, you know.
Evernorton Priory as well.
Evernorton, okay, so you're quite familiar with the territory. You know, and I could go on and on. Pimento Walk, Limebottom, roads, you know, poor infrastructure, you know, social neglect, you know, basic necessities, human fundamental rights like road and water, electricity. You know, in 2025, we do have people who are still, you know, and that's one of the inspiration behind me entering into representational politics. Because I do believe that our people deserve better.
Yes.
Northeast St. Anne for sure deserve better, and our people across Jamaica do. We elect our representative to go to Parliament to champion policies that are in the best interest of our people. And to have 2025, for example, in Ocho Rios. Ocho Rios is actually Spanish for 8 rivers. We have 8 rivers there. I take just Dunn's River Falls alone. That river churns out millions of gallons of water per day that goes into the sea. And yet we have people in Limehall at Corner Street. We have people in Chalky Hill and Davistown, Pimento Walk. I went to Limebottom a few weeks ago, and the people there are still buying water, and they don't even have the road to carry the water to them. You know, Windsor Heights, which is just above St. Anne's Bay, it's not too far away from the main. And a lady told me recently, I'm stink.
Yes.
I'm stink because I don't have water in my house to shower, to wash my clothes. It's unfortunate, you know, and it seemed to me that our elected representatives are more concerned about the individuals who can afford to live in the luxury gated communities where the houses are going for upwards of $400,000 US that the average Jamaican cannot afford.
Can only think about it.
That can only think about. Our people deserve better than that, and that is Matney. My experience in Matney, I used to throw the bucket in the water and pull it out. I go back to Matney, and people are still carrying water on their heads.
In 2025?
In 2025.
Well, let me ask you this then. All right, so we're drilling down. This constituency that you represent is one of several in Jamaica where there's a, I don't want to say, well, there is an affordability contrast, let's call it that. You have people who can afford the finer things in life, you have plenty of those, and then you have the strugglers from which you came, from which many of us came from the struggling group,
Of course.
And so there is a representative's ambition then is to give as many people a chance as possible to be able to meet their basic needs and then get into the wants section where they can make their lives a little bit more comfortable. So let me ask you, 24 years straight, Dr. Simpson, of unbroken JLP leadership and management of this constituency has delivered what for the people?
That's a question that I'm struggling to answer myself. And that's why it baffles me and blows my mind that there are people still running around with a green armband in Northeast St. Anne today and still shouting shower labor right. I see people, yesterday I was in a motorcade after my nomination and we go through Priory, which is one of the JLP strongholds. The road is terrible there. You know, affordability, people are having serious food insecurity in that community. I was shocked when I see people running out and waving green stuff at me, although it's a few people, shouting shower labor rights. You know, communities where Michael Manley, who would have been a champion of housing for these people, they are living on the land because of Michael Manley. they're living in the land because of P.J. Patterson and Operations Pride, and they're shouting shower labor right. That don't make no sense to me. And that's, so, you know, so I'm still asking myself that question. And don't get me wrong, I have great respect for former Member of Parliament, Shiny Robinson. She was a human being. She was a true human being, and she really loved people, and she was really well loved there. And you have to give respect where respect is due.
Yes.
She, you know, but so she still has a legacy of love and humanitarian.
But it has to be more than that, though, Dr. Simpson, because here's the thing.
So it doesn't translate into the legacy that now I could, or even her successors can build on.
Because remember, what I'm trying to put on the table is this. Obviously, as the PNP's candidate in Northeast St. Anne, you have a self-interest to position yourself as the person best equipped to take this constituency forward. But at the same time, I want you to, I'm taking you as a man of integrity because that's how you present yourself, and I can't take you otherwise.
Correct.
I want you to present to my viewers a picture of, if it is in Northeast St. Anne, this 24 years of unbroken JLP leadership has done anything positive for the broad constituents, whether in pockets or in larger concentrations, and whether or not there are still problems that you feel that over 24 years, a ruling party ought to have solved, resolved, started the process of resolution by this time.
Absolutely. I can think of land reform and affordable housing. Northeast St. Anne has quite a number of communities where our people, our families have been living there for
generations,
more than 24 years on lands that they do not own.
Still to this day.
Still to this day. Pimento Walk. They call them the capture lands.
Yes.
Priory, Charlestown, Windsor River Lane in St. Anne's Bay. There's some pockets in Exchange. Almost, I would say every division have some. Steertown, Miami Bay, you name it. This is something that this is a problem that should have been solved a long time ago. 24 years of unbroken rule should have obliterated that distasteful term, squatting.
Yes. So you say that give you charge of the constituency, and you will change the situation where land titling and land ordering. So how you do that now?
So
MP.
It's your policy.
MP, we call it that.
Absolutely, it's your policy.
Yes.
And by the way, this is not something new that I'm going to do. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel.
Yes.
The People's National Party started that. And I dare say before even P.J. Patterson, Michael Mulley, when I go to Civil Heights and other places, the people shout Michael Mulley, and Michael Mulley give me this land I live on. It's not squatting land. They own the land. P.J. Patterson came in and instituted Operation Pride.
Yes.
And there are places in Northeast St. Anne that are beneficiaries of that. Miami Bay South. We started out, we issued over 300,000 titles to people who were once squatters who are no longer squatters. And we said to them, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. It doesn't matter if you have a lot in your bank account or not. Just pay $100,000 and we'll formalize you and get your titles. And we have done that. And had we not lost in 2016, we would have,
advanced the agenda.
Advanced, of course. So I know it's policy. The People's National Party under Mark Golding, as you would have seen in our manifesto, has built in that not just to address the housing situation, to providing more affordable housing. We talk about 500,000 affordable housing, which we're going to get some in Northeast St. Anne. But we also have there the plan to reactivate Operation Pride.
Right.
It's going to be rebranded the Porsche plan.
Yes.
But that's what we're going to do.
But let me ask you this.
Because our people need to live with pride, man.
That's true.
Yes, we're born a full place. Nobody can deport we from Jamaica. So, we can't go live in the sea. And what we're having, I was in compound on Friday night or Saturday night, and a gentleman took out a piece of paper and showed to me they nailed it on his shop to leave. He needs to pack
eviction notice.
Eviction notice.
So, but let me ask you this though: are you saying then that the issue of land titling and the under titling of occupiers of land, let's call it that, that it is not something that requires any genius approach, but it's a case of priority, and that this JLP administration, the JLP, have failed to prioritize land titling in Northeast St. Anne? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Michael Malley, when he instituted NHT, he talks about the fact that he's doing it so the man can have a roof over his house, so he can be proud. A man can live with pride by putting a roof over his family's house. When a person lives in insecurity, I meet people there who've been living there for 40 years. The generation, generations, grandparents pass down the land to them, but they don't own it, and then afraid that one day the government will just come and bulldoze them.
But indulge me, why would something that you are communicating to me, if it's treated as a priority and done through the channels that exist, it can be done seamlessly. Why would the JLP now and the people who live in Northeast St. Anne not make the same requests for land titling of the incumbent MP as they will of you if you get in after September 3? I'm not understanding that.
I can't speak for the Jamaica Labour Party, except I can say that I feel like our people across Jamaica should have more self-respect, and I think that's an issue. We get from our leaders what we demand from them. I don't think the people are demanding from them, I don't think the demands are, well, again, on the one hand, it's about self-respect, but on the other hand, our people are in survival mode. You understand what I'm saying? So it flows from just housing. There's food insecurity. So I guess people are spending so much time. The biggest thing for them is they can't think beyond tonight's dinner to even talk about, regularizing me to live on the land with pride. But ultimately, we get the leaders that we elect, and our leaders have kept our people living from hand to mouth for so long and dependence on our leadership that our people forget that they have a fundamental right that goes beyond the next meal. We don't want to give people handouts, and I think they're so used to handouts, and all subsequent of successive politicians come and they give them handouts, and they think that is the norm. But that's not
if I may say, Dr. Simpson, two things that you revealed from your constituency-specific manifesto so far. You're going to deal with water, and you're going to deal seriously with land titling.
Absolutely.
Someone will say, so George, how will Dr. Ryan Simpson unlock the path to water in a more efficient way than the water minister is doing or can do? I put that to you.
So again, I can't speak to the water minister and what he's doing or what he's not doing. The fact is that I think one of Jamaica's problems, one of the greatest challenges in Jamaica, and especially in Northeast St. Anne, is that we do not appoint people based on merit for the most part. It's political cronyism and nepotism sometimes, and I think I see a lot of that at play. And, obviously, the people who are presiding over our water distribution in Northeast St. Anne are incapable and have failed. They've failed. How can you have a pump that's breaking down every month? And you keep fixing that same old pump and not thinking about something more sustainable? How can you have a tiny little pump serving 2-3 different communities that you have to ration the water? So a lady told me in White River, oh, this is Thursday night, I'm going to fill up my drum for now.
Thursday night or my night?
Because we get the water from, Monday to Thursday. After that, we can't go to the whole weekend without it because I must switch it over to our next company. Come on, that's 25 days.
Here's what, I'm at my wrap point, but I just want to give you 2 more minutes after the break to just make send a final message to your constituents.
Certainly.
About why is it that the future of Northeast St. Anne is better in your hands.
Absolutely.
This is Lead Story Prime. Dr. Ryan Simpson, the PNP's candidate in Northeast St. Anne, and he has a message to deliver.
Is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Transforming care across the nation. The Jamaica Labour Party is doing more for your health. We've expanded NHF benefits and filled over 3 million prescriptions. free checks, and new subsidies for tests. We're making care more accessible. Plus, 138 health centers repaired and major hospitals under construction. Choose a healthier Jamaica. Put your X beside the bell.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
This message is brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Do you have the financing to support a long-term investment program in water? And the answer to that is yes, because we have managed the economy in such a way as to be able to do that. We deliberately make a point of every week either breaking ground, handing over, turning on, not announcing, because it shows you the track record of delivery. So you can have faith in that yes, you don't have it now, but there is a program in place backed by good fiscal management so that it can project the revenues into the future to support the future project. And that's what you want. You want government policy with endurance.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Start your journey with a Jane Bank Small Business Loan, with small business loans with as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million.
The time is 8:30.
In the now Jamaican politics, there is no such thing as a safe seat. Every candidate has to ensure that he or she is well protected, because you never know what the electorate might serve up. And that is part of the reason why Dr. Ryan Simpson is confident of his chances on Election Day, September 3, in Northeast St. Anne, notwithstanding what history suggests will happen, because since 2001, the constituency has been resoundingly green. Dr. Simpson, the time is yours now.
Thank you.
Tell your constituents in Northeast St. Anne why it is that you are the man on September 3 that they should endorse.
Thank you, George. My fellow citizens, my fellow people, voters of Northeast St. Anne, you have been living there for a long time, and you've seen firsthand what, you've been having the experience firsthand of the challenges. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of unfinished business to do. Northeast St. Anne, the people deserve better. And that better can only come by changing the guards, changing the status quo. And that's why I'm offering myself as your son, who live among you, who shop among you, to be your representative. I bring to the table the voice to the voiceless. We have many challenges. We have hotel workers who are struggling under the exploitative contract work. I intend to put an end to that. Our beaches, Northeast St. Anne has so many public beaches, and yet our people are shut out of them. I intend to provide access to our public beaches. Our craft traders who have been sidelined and shoved aside, who no longer benefit from the craft because tourists who come to Ochiris have been diverted out of the craft market. I intend to bring a solution to that. Our people deserve better. You deserve better. And that's why you cannot afford to stay home on September 3. And that is why you cannot afford to vote any other way than for the People's National Party and for your son, Ryan Robert Simpson. Because it's my pledge to live what I pledged as a child long ago in the service of my fellow citizen, to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that not just Jamaica, but Northeast St. Anne may increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the whole human race. I thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Ryan Simpson, in his own words, Northeast St. Anne, September 3, general election day, he says the endorsement to go forward with the constituency should be given to him. He should be given that responsibility. Thank you, sir. All the best
George,
to you.
I thank you very much.
Good. All right, so we change gears now, and I'm making ready to speak with the man representing the JLP in East Central St. Andrew, young Vassel. And this is a perspective into young DV and what he hopes to achieve in the constituency.
Dr. Peter Phillips is bowing out of representational politics after a 31-year tenure representing St. Andrew East Central. The 2020 election saw Dr. Phillips secure a narrow victory with a margin of just over 900 votes, while serving as leader of the opposition at the time. The PNP selected businessman Dennis Gordon to replace Dr. Phillips, but attorney at law Davian Vassel of the JLP is hoping to spoil that transition.
We know the last time the JLP won this seat was in 1983. I was 4 years old at the time. It sounds a little hopeless, but guess what? Hope should spring eternal, East Central.
Vassel has drawn inspiration from Jodie and Myri's 2020 feat. She came closest to unseating Dr. Phillips.
My predecessor, Jodie and Myri, had the then opposition leader biting his fingernails on the night of the election. So I want to big up Jodie and Myri. Shout, 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 shout. You have weakened the stronghold of the PNP in East Central St. Andrew, and now it's my turn to deliver the killer blow.
Rhoda Crawford from Manchester Central told Labourites to deny the PNP another victory. She contrasted Dr. Phillips' absence from parliamentary sittings with her own experience of returning to work shortly after she had a surgery.
Now we here say the MP for this constituency is ill, so we never trouble him. But the problem I have is that the other day, in the boiling sun, I saw him demonstrating. And my point is, if you're well enough to go to demonstration, you are well enough to come to the house on behalf of the people.
Crawford, who represents a marginal seat, lashed out about MPs who occupy safe seats.
We are not to get comfortable in this country to the point that you have MPs, and because they're in safe constituencies, they don't have to do no work, and it is almost guaranteed that they will go back to Garden House. And you have some of us who have to work very hard to get back to Garden House.
JLP Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie argued that despite St. Andrew East Central producing a premier, a Minister of Finance and a mayor, the constituency's progress has been underwhelming.
We now budge. We now move an inch. We will never surrender Jamaica to the PNP again. Never.
Andre Jebinson, CVM News.
So East Central St. Andrew, the JLP says, is in play, notwithstanding the voting record in the constituency. The record shows that it's a constituency represented by some PNP heavyweights. Norman Manley represented the PNP in the House of Representatives in this parliament. Peter Phillips did 6 consecutive terms, and the record shows, as Davian Vassel said, that it was only in 1983 when the PNP boycotted that Leslie Lloyd got in for the JLP. So in real terms, in contested elections, the record shows that the PNP is unblemished in East Central St. Andrew. But the young man is filled with optimism, and he says that, look, if the people are voting on the performance of their member of parliament over time, then it is an easy decision to make the change to the JLP, because he has said publicly that the PNP's record in East Central St. Andrew in terms of delivering for the people is woefully lacking, and is inviting voters to make a change come election day. But guess what? He's here to speak for himself. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
All is well?
Good evening, Jamaica. All is well. There's no hassle with Vassel.
There's no hassle with Vassel. All right, that's his slogan. Very good. Tell Jamaica who you are.
Well, Jamaica,
My name is Davian Vassel, a lawyer from the inner city, a place where nothing was expected of me, limited resources, but through hard work, I've made myself into what some would consider a successful lawyer. And the time has come now for me to transition, into the national space where I intend to make some changes. Now, leadership is not new to me. Everywhere I've gone, I've represented. Even as a father, I've served as president as my son, PTA, president of the Faculty of Law, president of the Students Association at Norma Manley. So wherever I've gone, I've done well in leadership. And people see the work. Now, some people see me going into national leadership as something new, but it's just a new arena. That's all that's happening here. And in East Central St. Andrew, that has been underrepresented for many years. My turn to hold the wheel and lead East Central into the realm of prosperity where it deserves to be.
You know, the history of Jamaican politics has several examples, a council, of young candidates upending established powers. Of course, we all can point to the former Prime Minister Hugh Shearer being beaten by a young Peter Bunting at the time. Even though Bunting as a businessman had a huge profile. 2020, Rhoda Moy Crawford taking down the same Peter Bunting. And so you have this awesome task. The fact is that Peter Phillips won't be on the ballot, Dr. Peter Phillips. It's Dennis Gordon, who's been the counsel for the Maxfield Park Division for some time, and it carries some heft in the constituency and has been a man at the forefront of the PNP's local government movement in the corporate area through the KSAMC. So I say all of that to say the odds are not against you. What is it that gives you confidence that you can crack the code this time around?
I love the way you say the odds are not against me. The odds are with me. The fact is, Dr. Phillips had a household name. He had a household name. Even if you don't know what his face looked like, you know the name Dr. Peter Phillips. And if you see that on a ballot, it's easy to tick that.
Yes.
Dennis doesn't have that. Right? In addition to that, I believe that, and what I keep telling people is that Dennis should not be broken or separated from Peter, because he has been Peter's deputy in that seat as his councillor for many years.
Yeah, right-hand man.
So the underperformance, you cannot take it away from him either. He is equally responsible for the lack of representation in East Central St. Andrew. So when he wants to tell people now that, okay, I was in the shadows, I know I want to step in and take the main seat, what have you done in your capacity as councillor for you to earn the right for Jamaica to send you to Garden House? You have not done enough. And we're saying, no, we, myself and my team, we're ready to take East Central by storm. Yesterday, the Prime Minister descended upon Kencott. When he came there, in the heart of the lion, he saw a sea of green, which was most welcomed. Don't believe for 1 second that that's a fluke. We have worked in the space. We have been doing work in the space, and the people like what they see. What they said to me is, Mr. Vassel, when I'm coming with my team, don't take our pictures. Give us the bands and the shirts. Right? Because they don't want to be victimized later on. So it simply means that the tides are changing.
And that's something I want to pick up on, because I've heard you in another space talking about the potential of victimization of persons taking pictures of some persons to say, well, you shouldn't get any services because you were seen talking to so-and-so. But after the break, Davian Vassel has a big job on his hands, but he says he's up for the challenge. He says the time is now to end the PNP's hegemony in East Central St. Andrew. And he says in him, the JLP have found the right candidate. More after these.
Millions of people are attacked by harmful mouth bacteria. The root cause of bad breath, gum problems, cavities, plaque, and tartar. That's why Colgate combined the best science and technology in Colgate Total. Unlike others, its superior formula fights bacteria and creates a powerful protective barrier for up to 24 hours to prevent them from coming back. Take control of your oral health with Colgate Total.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Jamaica isn't just the land we love, this is the land we choose. The Jamaica Labour Party has done more than any other government to make this country better for us all. We're doing more for you, and we're not done yet. No new taxes in 8 years. More Jamaicans working. Violent crime at its lowest in decades. More reliable water and upgraded health centers. Choose proven results, not just promises. Put your ex beside the bell.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace, Singer, and Islandnet Services.
Protecting Jamaica's borders is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
8:45.
Welcome back to Lead Story Prime here on CVM TV. I'm in the house with Davian Vassel. He's the JLP's candidate in East Central St. Andrew. He is an attorney at law, and he says while history may be against him, he doesn't believe his chances match what history suggests they are, given how people have been reacting to him in the constituency. Davian, what is the state of play in East Central St. Andrew with the provision of services, the access to services, and the general management that the representative has exerted in the constituency over time?
There's a lack of management currently, and I'm wondering why the people have allowed it to happen so far, right? If you look, sports have died in the constituency. Mm-hmm. No opportunities for young people. The roads, especially like leading to Casha Park here, Sundown, Crescent, them places, roads are so bad. It's like the PNP, then take it up and carry it out in the yard. And I wrote not serious. I'm serious because I'm wondering, why is it? But then it makes sense because see, the councillor, Beverly Prince, has been doing such a good job in Casha Park. Mm-hmm. And that's why she has been able to eke out, even though it's a PNPC for many years, she has controlled the Casha Park. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the reason why, despite the limited resources, she still tries. And the people see that. Mm-hmm. Even though the PNP has the money, mm-hmm. she has the heart of the people. Mm-hmm. And she has introduced me to the people, and the people have bought into Davian Vassel. Mm-hmm. So even though Dennis might have more money than me, mm-hmm. I'm getting the heart of the people. Mm-hmm. The people, I say no hassle with Vassel, mm-hmm. and that's where we're going. Mm-hmm. But the point I'm making is, the roads are, especially in Casha Park, mm-hmm. are so bad. And the reason being is that I believe the PNP see that if they fix the roads up there, they'll be strengthening Beverly Prince. Ah. So in other words, they just ignore the roads. Tactical decision, you believe? Mm-hmm. I think it was done tactically to say the council is not doing any work to try to get Miss Prince out. The people love Miss Prince because Miss Prince love the people. You understand? So imagine the people in Casha Park when Miss Prince gets the support of a member of parliament from the JLP side, troubling at the camp. But you know, I know many rural MPs, Davian Vassel, who are very envious of corporate area MPs who have a lot of corporate giants, middling corporate entities, or smaller businesses who are doing well in the constituencies who they can lean on for support because it's not everything that can come from government. They say, well, how come you have so many businesses in your constituency? Unlike me, my constituency is a lot of bush. But you have so many businesses and yet the physical infrastructure, the way the place looks is so poor. What is the state of the relationship between the member of parliament and the business community? Are you saying that the business community has not been tapped enough by the representatives? What is the cause for the kind of problems that you are highlighting in East Central? I'm really wondering if the business community has been tapped at all. Because what I'm seeing is a disconnect. What I'm seeing is just a lack of communication from the part of the member of parliament to the business community. Because if you look around where birds taking place, where birds and Fastridge, along that stretch development, where you look in the contributory roads, horrible. How we allow that? So there's no coming together of the stakeholders to say, all right, we're doing something big here. Because those two giants in the space are transforming the space.
And Foster Street have expanded recently.
Exactly.
And there's a call center down on Chalmers Avenue.
They said development, but it's not a MP-led development. These are persons who are businesses.
Private enterprises.
That are doing it. But I believe that with the MP coming on board, that it would have been a greater reach in terms of being able to do greater things. But I think because Dr. Phillips inherited what he calls a safe seat, he has rested on his laurels and done nothing.
And that is another real thing as well, Davian Vassel, because you look in these constituencies, and even an impartial observer, in seats that are traditionally green or traditionally orange, impartial observers go and they can observe things that they're saying, wait, why is it that the people keep rewarding the MP cycle after cycle despite these challenges? And the same thing applies in East Central St. Andrew. It appears as if it doesn't matter what the alternative is, East Central St. Andrew will always be PNP. Is that a good way to look at it?
No, I want to tell you, I used to think so, initially. But when I got the seat, I said to myself, the JLP, traditionally, they canvass and campaign in Cassia Park. They canvass and they campaign in Hagley Park. And they pray and hope to God that they get some votes in Maxfield. So everybody keep telling me, my strategy at the beginning, work hard in Cassia Park, work hard in Hagley Park to try to mitigate Maxfield.
Don't forget about
Why am I going to mitigate Maxfield? Maxfield need representation too. So I have gone into Maxfield. I have been around the length and breadth of Maxfield, and I've campaigned to the people and said to them, so listen, give Davian a chance. You'll realize there's no hassle. Let me in. And the people have responded to me. Chisholm Avenue, the PNP sent, they had a conference recently. They didn't send any bus actually, along Chisholm and Ricketts Crescent and Waltham Avenue, because the people are saying no hassle with Vassel. And I say that on record.
All right. So the Vassel plan for East Central St. Andrew
is to unite the divisions.
So unity first, but in terms of infrastructure, what can people expect that you will be able to do for them if you get the nod election day?
If I get, all right, so I must be realistic. 30 odd years of underdevelopment and underperformance cannot be done in one election and done in one election cycle. But I believe that with the team that I have, we're going to work on the road infrastructure, right? In terms of training our young people, that is something that is very dear to my heart. Young people need to be empowered. Yeah, when I talk about that, I'm talking about vocational training. And some of the richest people I know in Jamaica are plumbers. Some people don't know that. Listen, people believe that you have to go
staff and everything.
Engineers have to go to get degrees, right? But persons who are electricians, right? You can be trained to become an electrician without going to do a degree, right? And these people make good money. Why is it there's a disconnect, as I said, between vocational skills and young people? We need to bring that back together. Yeah, because everybody won't become a lawyer, but everybody has an important role to play. We all need a mechanic. You know, a lawyer needs a mechanic, a doctor needs a mechanic. Everybody has a role to play. But if you empower people, in addition to that, how many persons, young people like myself, as I was then, when you want to make a transition into college, how do you know what steps to make if you do not have persons in your background to say, all right, these are the steps you could make. If you want to become this, these are the courses you should target.
This is the path.
These are the path. And that's why I have to take my hat off to Woolman's Boys School, because that's where my model is really coming from.
Age Quadagis?
Age Quadagis, that crucible, that great crucible by Eurocircle. When we talk about careers, right? We had doctors, we had lawyers, we had the soldiers flying the helicopter and landing it on the school field. So we could see these people, would touch them, they were real. Bring that into communities. Make people see that they can accomplish things. And that's the reason why, even though I've been a lawyer for going on 11 years, I've still not lost touch with West Central, where I'm from. I still go there and I still sign their farms. People still give people recommendations to say they know a lawyer, because it helps them get jobs, you know?
Yes, it does.
When people call me and say, do you know this person? I say, yes. It speaks volumes. How many persons can say they know a lawyer personally? But if everybody keep moving out and go uptown and don't come back, then what happens? That is the position I'm talking about. Bring people closer to people and bridge the gap.
Talk to your potential constituents now, Davian Vassel. Tell them why on election day the only choice is you.
I must say, for the record, that I realize the PNP, I must address it. It is the elephant in the room. They're telling you that they'll know who you vote for. those long days are gone. Nobody can tell who you vote for. So even if you go behind the booth and you mark your X for Davian Vassel, nobody will know who you vote for. So I have to address that because that's a lie that must be dispelled. Ladies and gentlemen, well-thinking members of East Central St. Andrew, Davian Vassel, the candidate, comes not with a bag of promises, but realistic ideas, realistic team, realistic dream to rescue this constituency that has been underperformed and underserved by the People's National Party. I cannot fathom why it is that they have continued to wreak havoc, because it's not a case where there are positive force there. Because if you have a force and it's not being used for good, then it can't be a good force. So I'm saying, on election day, the 3rd of September, there's no hassle with Vassel. Vote Davian Vassel for the person to lead East Central into the realms of prosperity where it deserves to be. Look at the neighboring constituencies and you see things. Over by West Central, prosperity. Why should you get any less? Vote Vassel. That's all I'm saying.
Hear you on that. Well, Davian Vassel, thank you very much. He wants to walk in the footsteps of one of the former leaders of his Jamaica Labour Party, Edward Philip George Siaga, Will Marion, who rose to the highest heights of politics and governance in this country. And he says he's the man to change things for the better in East Central St. Andrew, and he's asking for your support on September 3. That's my time. Thank you very much, Councillor. All the best to you.
Thanks for having me.
Excellent. All right. That's my time on Lead Story Prime. It's always enjoyable on a Tuesday when we have time to let the guests bring their personality out and make the case or defend the argument that they're called upon to do. And as I said, it was a pleasure. Well, it's always a pleasure presenting the show to you, and I certainly hope you enjoyed this evening's episode where we spoke with Dr. Ryan Simpson, the PNP's candidate in North East St. Anne, and the man going into battle for the Jamaica Labour Party in East Central St. Andrew, Attorney at Law, Davian Vassel. Good evening. Fan Central is up next with Orville Higgins.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
Everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi. Brought to you by Grace, Singer, and IslandNet Services.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes. Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people them I say we are my show tonight. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't fit the dark, shine your lights
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations